You are listening to Policybazaar.ae's The Policy Project. We've got you covered.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a brand new live code of the Policy Project software. I am Sid. Sorry, just because today's episode involves tech, I don't need to become a robot myself. So, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of the Policy Project. I'm Sid, the host of this podcast and your go-to person for all things insurance. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about technology and how technology is redefining user journeys and customer experiences in insurance. And like always, we're not alone. We have an expert with us who's here to discuss everything about this topic and much, much more. So please welcome Brijesh Kumar. He's the head of technology and product at Policybazaar.ae. And बहुत सारी चीजें हैं that we want to ask him. So let's dive right in. Welcome, Brijesh. Welcome to the Policy Project. Thrilled to have you on board.
Hi, Sid. Glad to be here.
So, artificial intelligence and machine learning. 4 words everybody wants to say in a meeting just to sound intelligent.
That's true. That's happening a lot. Yeah.
All right. Chalo, let's start off and let's have you on board. And we'll start off with the most basic question. What is the significance of customer experience when it comes to insurance sector? And have you witnessed any changes in this regards? Okay, with respect to advancement in technology.
See, first let's understand. See, insurance is a very tricky product. It's a very tricky category altogether. And why I say that is because given a choice, a customer would never actually buy insurance product, but then they do, right? And once bought, you kind of hope that you never have to use it. And actually, when you need it, it's in most of the cases a very stressful time. So a lot goes into in deciding what policy to buy, what product to kind of choose at the time when you're buying. So you hope that at the time when you actually have to use it, it doesn't actually add to the stress that you're already going through. It should be much simpler and should make your life much simpler. So it's very important that we establish trust initially when we are actually having that conversation where we are trying to explain what the product is and what all it covers in the likelihood when they might have to use it. So a lot of it now it has to be tailor made. A lot of personalization needs to be done so that a product or a plan that you're being kind of the plan that you evaluate should fit the bill that you're looking for, right? So it all starts with personalization because different customers will have different needs, and we'll actually need to take care of all that into consideration, the profile of the customer, what kind of a vehicle, or let's say what kind of a family structure that this customer is actually looking for a product for. The other thing which technology and digital platforms kind of provide is the access. When you look at the access that the people are looking for or the kind of support that different customer look for is varying. It varies a lot because some they do not want to talk to any advisor. They are not buying insurance for the first time. They know how a product is constructed, what is that they're looking for. They do not need any kind of a conversation, whether it is via a bot or a telephonic. Some might actually just need a chat kind of a support because it's difficult for people to speak over a phone while they're sitting in the office and buying, let's say, a policy. So they prefer just a chat at the end. It can be human or it can be a bot assisted kind of a conversation. So that's something people prefer. But then there are people who actually want to speak to an advisor because they might be buying it for the first time. And so in a lot of cases where a very high ticket kind of a transaction is involved, some people do ask for an in-person meeting as well. So the platform, though it's digital, but it has to have the capability of providing all these touch points in different at varying levels so that what the customer is expecting we are able to kind of offer. And along with this access, there is another thing which is required is basically the required, or so to say, the expectation is that the speed of execution, right? With digitization, now there is no more the time where somebody will punch in data somewhere and will get a calculated premium, then will communicate to the customer, takes a time in between. Now everything is seamless, right? The moment you are on the website, the moment you're on any digital platform like Policybazaar, you just put in your data, you get a premium, and you are ready to go, right? You have to fill in a little bit of information here and there, and you just can get your premium there and then. This is what now the de facto is. Now this is what people are expecting. So technology is helping us bring that efficiency, that is enabling us to basically give the experience that the customers are now expecting and are then willing to proceed with the purchase.
Very interesting. And since you touched on the topic of accessibility, so how are digital platforms like yourself, Policybazaar.ae, how are you guys enhancing customer accessibility to insurance services?
See, if you look at Policy Bazaar and other insurance partners operating in this space, everyone is
Hmm.
trying or everyone is actually working towards digitization, creating
Right.
plans or ways for the customer to access insurance services in a much more accessible and a transparent and a user friendly way. So that's what they're looking for. So what we do is we leverage technology to address most of the traditional pain points that you would have experienced in the previous way of how, or the older way of how people used to buy. The most important thing to begin here with the accessibility is, of course, the channels that you are able to provide to customers to access such services. But it first starts with what kind of information you're giving to the customer, right? It has to be unbiased. It has to basically allow the customer to compare all the information that is available on the platform and be able to make a decision which what kind of a product or a plan is suitable for them. Correspondingly, what will happen is they can see that uh, now what they can do is filter out plans which are relevant for them, or sort them if they're looking for a budget friendly kind of a plan, or if they're looking for a highly comprehensive plans which takes care of most of their needs, and then also filter plans basis what are the kind of add-ons they would want their policies to have. So it kind of gives them access to not just being able to buy it, but it also gives them access to all the plans otherwise they would not have even heard about and would might be a better fit to them. Secondly, see, the whole process is, since it's virtual, the customer don't have to kind of give physical documents, or there's no need for physical documents anymore. There is no error when it comes to giving you the premium that you have to pay. So also now the coach experience is so seamless because now we are so very well integrated with our insurers that you don't have to wait. So access is there. So it's kind of it's right there the moment you need it. So
Right.
what we stand for as a digital platform is we provide accessibility to customers. Helps it makes it more convenient for them to make their insurance purchases, and because of all this happening digitized in a digital way, we are able to do a lot of personalization, which essentially gives them access to this 24/7 across various channels. It can be via a website or on a desktop or on a mobile or even with a mobile app. And also now we've gone ahead and created journeys on WhatsApp itself. So now our WhatsApp bot enables you to kind of put in some information, and we are able to process the information, and now you get a URL where you can actually just go and choose your plan and make the payment.
Interesting. Now, since we're on the digital platforms and we're talking about customer accessibility, you also touched upon that WhatsApp and the bots involved there. So, just want to go back on that. Okay, how do chatbots improve customer service in the insurance sector, and are there any advantages of having them?
See, chatbots are transformative, and you would have seen a lot of companies and people you meet with talk about a use case where they've used a chatbot or let's say a chat as a medium to make their purchase decisions, not just in insurance, across different industries. So it is definitely kind of a very efficient and a very personalized. And the good thing is it's round the clock, right? Because you don't need a human sitting behind a bot. And over a period of time, people will start moving towards more and more to these channels. And essentially making the whole conversation much more effective. However, insurance being a little bit complex subject, especially when it comes to purchasing or let's say a claim kind of related kind of a conversation. Uh, we do have a human on a standby, especially during
Right.
the working hours. We'll have a human at this sitting standby, observe, and the moment the algorithm observes that it is a little more complicated than the bot that can handle, and a human is kind of brought into the conversation, and then the human can actually take care of the follow-up questions. So yeah, chatbot great, but yes, with the industry and the kind of product we're dealing in, there is always some kind of a human involvement that will be there at the end to conclude the conversation.
That's good to know. I'm a 90s kid, so human interaction I love. So, but ये तो सारी की सारी बातें हुई which are happening for the betterment of the customer. But want to ask you, are there any challenges that the customers still face when they are using these digital insurance services, and how are those being addressed?
See, when you think digital, right? You always in your head think it's a screen I'm talking to, or it's a screen I'm interacting with. It's some kind of a system I'm interacting with, right? So that's where a lot of people believe that it's not personalized, but on the contrary, it is way more personalized than a human can actually do it for you, because human cannot process so much data in their mind and be able to say, okay, this is the plan, good for you, great for you. But a system can, because a system can run through hundreds of parameters in matter of no time and give you such results. So,
Right.
however, what is required there to kind of address this is some kind of a hybrid approach, wherein the system is kind of doing all the heavy duty, and somebody, let's say in our case, a lot of customers want to speak to to our advisors. So what our advisor do is leverages the technology. It's leveraging what option this system is sending, and trying to explain the why this has happened, why this is most relevant for you, because over a period of time they also realize why this certain customer is basically getting all these options, because there are rules and there are fitment that is being checked, whether a certain insurer will give this policy to a certain profile or not. So all of that is there. So hybrid
Correct.
solution is something which is required, wherein and a human is there to kind of support when somebody is going through. Then next comes, there is, and it is very specific to our industry. Policies in general are very very complicated to understand, right? And especially for the first time buyers, right? They do not know what a specific term means in the real world, right? So what essentially needs to be done is that you need to simplify what all is coverage. So it should be like very clearly written what is covered, what is not covered, what happens in such situation, what will happen, what you'll have to take care of, and all of that, right? And then
Right.
offer it, or so to say present to a customer in a layman's language, so that they are able to understand, and are able to kind of navigate through the decision journey. Then there are a lot of things you can do around creating content, creating blogs, videos, FAQs, and a virtual walkthrough for customer to kind of understand the product in a better way. Show them scenarios, kind of give examples, so that if so and so person buys so and so kind of a policy, and at the time of, let's say in case of insurance, if such a situation happens, what all will be covered, right? So it kind of
Correct.
helps them see out of understand better with help of examples. Lastly, what we also see that, especially for the older demographic, they still struggle to navigate through the digital platforms. However, when it comes to
Correct.
application like ours, where you have to kind of use your payment methods, that's another thing. So the again, there are things that we need to do is make use of as simple as interfaces, having larger, it's over not overtly complicated journeys, make it as simple as for anyone to understand. And then over a period of time, because we're talking about older demographic as well, sometimes there is a localization effort that will be required for different people with different know-how of different languages. So English may not be so well versed, they may not be very well versed with the language. Localization is something that we need to do, and it should be able to address the wider audience, and be able to kind of take the away that digital literacy, or so to say the language barriers, away from the equation.
Very interesting. Very insightful indeed. All right. Thank you so much, Brijesh. Abhi, time to move on to our next segment, which is Ask Away. Now, here we take up FAQs by our customers, by our listeners, and we respond to them with the help of our expert. So, if you too are inquisitive, you too are curious learner like myself, and you've got questions about finance, about insurance, then don't hesitate. Just ask away. slide into our DMs on Instagram, follow us on Policybazaar UAE, or reach out to us via any of the other social media channels, and we'll try our best to answer your questions in the next episode. Today, however, we shall be taking up questions related to the role of tech in redefining user journeys and customer experiences right here in insurance. So, Brijesh, ready with your answers to our askaways?
Sure, let's see.
All righty. So, परवेज का सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन है he wants to know how are data analytics and information technology influencing auto insurance pricing and customer feedback.
See, to put it very simply, it is heavily driven through data, right? So let me explain a little bit. So data analytics heavily influence the insurance pricing because it enables the insurers to look at large data sets, which essentially will further break down into the claim histories of most of the people that have kind of been customers of theirs, and associated with various segment, like for example what kind of demographics have what kind of claim histories, similarly for vehicle types and many other factors. It's a long list that goes into analyzing what a particular segment behaves like, right? So it helps them
Correct.
determine the risk. Customer would just say it's only getting expensive and expensive more over a period of time. So in a nutshell, data analytics plays that role wherein you're able to price it right, so the customer in a way wins at the end of the bargain.
Parvez, we hope you got your answer. All righty. Second question, it's coming in from Anandi, and she wants to know what is the impact of self service portals on customer satisfaction in insurance?
So yeah, self-service portal is a lot of now people want to do things themselves. They want it to be done quickly. So self-service portals are the way to do it. It improves customer satisfaction by offering convenience, transparency, and control at the same time. They allow kind of users to manage their policies, the policies that they've already bought. They can also look at the kind of inquiries they've done, want to make a change to an inquiry before they actually make a purchase.
Right.
It can be also used for initiating a claim. It can also kind of access all the information that is there part of your policy. Look at what information that you gave at the time of policy, because your policy may not have everything, but you know with your inquiry that what all information you had given at the time of purchasing the policy. So it kind of gives you a reference as well. And then and also at the same time, because it's a self-service thing, you don't have to depend on anyone to come and help you. So really kind of makes things faster for you when you need it. So overall it speeds up everything, minimizes error, because you are the person, you are the one who's putting in the information, or you're the one who's creating some kind of a footprint. So the chances of
Correct.
committing error by somebody helping you is not there. And of course enhances overall user experience by giving the control that the customers now look for.
Nice. All right. Question number 3. Mihir wants to know how can predictive analytics improve the underwriting process for insurance companies?
See, it's very similar to what we just discussed with regards to data. Just that now we are only doing a forward-looking kind of a conversation here. So predictive analytics improves the overall underwriting process, because you're looking at historical data and expecting that that's the way the consumers will behave, right? It helps insurer identify higher risk, and as I said, there is an 80-20 rule wherein in effect where 80% will sail through without even so 80% of the people will be low risk, medium risk, or maybe higher percentage, and they'll be easily able to go through the journey, be able to make their kind of purchase without any hindrance. However, the 20%
Correct.
might be referred for a review by the insurer, and in case there are any corrective premium update required, so that will be done. This helps, of course, set a precise premium, more affordability, as we understood, and streamlines the overall decision making for a customer. Because the moment you see a very expensive quote, you kind of go into a loop where you have to now review. Okay, it's too expensive. My other friend got for so much, so you start questioning that. So it kind of streamlines
Correct.
because you're getting the right premium. The decision becomes a no brainer for you, and just you go through it. So this leads to overall faster approvals because the premiums are already approved. No errors because most of the things you kind of are matching and already being checked. And then finally, a great pricing is helping the larger user base get the price that they deserve to be paying, not more than what they should be.
Fantastic. All right. And now, with the last question after Mihir, it is Rahim. And he's asking, in what ways can insurers use technology to educate customers about coverage options and policy details?
See, it's not just about insurers, it's also a responsibility at our end, being a prominent distributor in the country. So there's a lot of technology that you can use to educate customer through by performing various activities. So you can create digital platforms which essentially are focused with an intent to kind of educate the customer, so that it's not just a platform where you can buy, it's also a platform where you actually are going to understand what you're going to buy. So your mindset, or the approach of creating such platforms should be that you first want the customer to understand what they're buying before they actually buy it. So that kind of brings that trust, as we were talking earlier as well, right? And then on top of that, you can create over and above, you can create some online tutorials where you explain about all the coverages and give make people understand what is when somebody says something as part of the policy, what does it essentially means. So more like a glossary of all the terminologies that is used in a policy document, and what
Right.
how to look in your policy detail once you have it. So kind of educating the customer, right? And also have some kind of a virtual assistant helping on the side, or a chatbot which essentially will take in your query, give you a quick feedback as to if your query is what is no claim bonus, or what is a certain thing which you are seeing on your screen. So it is able to
Right.
quickly give you some kind of a small explanation that this means this, and will also give some kind of an example as to, for example, if this happens, this will be the condition that you'll have to go kind of fulfill for it to come true, right? Those are the things that insurers, as well as people like us, or players like us, should do. Should also invest in creating rich media, right? Create videos distributed via social media, do some kind of do webinars. We've kind of do actively that. And then FAQ, very simple. These are the top 20 question a customer has when they're looking to buy insurance. Give them simple answers so that they're able to understand. And of course,
Right.
podcasts like these that we are currently doing helps customer understand more and more about the industry.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much, Brijesh and Rahim. We really hope that you got your answer. Alrighty, so this brings us to the end of this segment, but don't go just yet. If you also have any questions about finance, about insurance, then simply ask away. DM us on Instagram, follow Policybazaar UAE, or reach out to us via any of the other social media channels, and we'll try our best to answer your queries in the next episode. For now, though, I hope we're all fully up to date with our knowledge related to the role of tech in redefining users' journeys and customer experiences in insurance. We shall meet again in the next episode with more informative, with more insightful content. But abhi ke liye, it's time to say thank you to our lovely expert, Brijesh. Thank you so much for coming on board and just helping us out with this topic.
Thanks, Sid. It was a pleasure.
Alrighty, so that's it for today's episode, everyone. See you in the next one. Till then, take care and stay tuned.
You were listening to Policybazaar.ae's The Policy Project. We've got you covered.